Okay, so the last lesson we had, I said about we're going to look at changing gears and steering.
Yeah.
So with the steering side of it, first off, when you adjust yourself in the seat, so bring yourself forward on the seat till you've got a gentle bend in the knee. Good. And then when you hold the steering wheel, you can actually have a gentle bend in the elbow as well. Okay, so bring yourself back slightly on the seat. Good. Okay. So with this particular car, and most cars to be fair, you can adjust it both up and down, in and out. So it looks just about perfect for you where it is at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you want to adjust it, let's just pull that thing down there. Good. And then you can see if you pull it towards you quite hard, you see it comes up, and move it down and up. So you can see it moves all around. So put it back to where you wanted it again, and then pull that thing back up. Make sure it locks into place. Good, big pull, well done. Okay, so we're going to look at first off how you actually hold the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So on this particular car, you'll see that there's two sort of extra puffy bits, if you like, on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So that is where Ford, if you like, are suggesting that they want you to actually hold the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So put your hands on those positions. So bring them down slightly. Okay. Bring your hands further back in. That's it. But put your thumbs on the outside, because when your thumbs are on the inside, it's quite hard to turn the wheel. So just put them up sort of like targets, if you like that. Good. Well done. Okay, so that's the normal position that quite a lot of people drive in, but they can also have what they call the quarter to and quarter past.
Yeah.
So if you bring your hands down to where the side spokes are on the steering wheel, so bring it down to there and there, so whichever's most comfortable and natural for you really. So again, have your thumbs on the outside rather than the inside, otherwise it's going to lock when you try and turn it. So which feels most comfortable for you, 10 to 10 past or quarter to?
Probably this one.
Good, okay. So quite a lot of people, particularly when they get relaxed in the car, don't have the 10 to 10 past or quarter to quarter past. They have the 25 past and 25 to, which is down at the bottom, and they sort of drive along with their hands sort of like that at the bottom. So clearly you're not allowed to drive like that. You haven't got full control of the vehicle,
Yeah.
and that would be a bad day on test. Likewise, don't drive along with your right elbow leaning on the door.
Right.
So some people sort of drive along, particularly after they've passed their test, elbow on the door with one hand, and quite often they've got one hand on the gear lever as well, thinking it's nice and cosy and comfy, change gear whenever they like then.
Yeah.
Have both hands on the steering wheel, then you've got full control.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So with the steering side, what you must try to do if possible is use the pull-push method to actually turn the wheel. So what I want you to do is actually move your seat back for me now.
Yep.
After we've set it all up, move it back for me. Good, okay. So I've got a little toy here we're going to play with, which clips over there. So similar thing, but obviously it just doesn't affect the tyres when we're changing. So as you've put in there, 10 to 10 past. So a lot of people find this quite difficult to do. But you think of the steering wheel in two halves.
Yeah.
Be on the left of the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock position of a clock, and on the right of a 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock position on a clock.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to turn right. So if you want to turn right, what you try to do is bring your hands up to the top of the steering wheel, both hands, and then you pull down with your right hand and mirror the operation with your left hand sliding down with your left. So all you do is pull down with the right, slide down with your left. Good. And don't go past the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock position at the bottom.
Okay.
And then you grip with your left hand, but don't grip with your right. So
Yep.
you pull up with your left hand, slide up with your right. So let's try that. Good, well done. And just keep going like that. Just a couple more for me, please. Nice and slow. That's it. Just so as we can get used to actually turning the wheel. Good. And stop there. So then when you want to turn left,
Yeah.
you reverse the hand that you've just pulled with. So you pull down with your right hand there to turn right. So you grip with your right, pull up with your right, slide up with your left. And then grip with your left, that's it, come down with your left, that's good. Keep going like that, that's it, and then turn right. Good. Tricky, isn't it? You have to think about it.
Yeah.
But when you're going along the road, you won't have to think about it quite so much.
Yeah.
And then turn left. Good. Well done. Okay, we'll leave that there.
Yep.
It can be easier in the car than it actually is on the road, because when you're actually having to think about gears and what's going on outside the car,
Yeah.
some people then tend to forget
Mhm.
what they've got to do with the steering wheel. Okay?
Yeah.
So, any ideas why it's better to steer like that rather than actually just crossing your hands and things like that? Any reason that you can think of?
Because of a safety issue with the airbag in here.
Well done. So if you had an accident with the hands crossed, you've obviously been reading the leaflets I gave you. If you have an accident with your hands crossed,
Yeah.
the airbag inside that steering wheel is deployed at roughly 250 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And if your hands are crossed over the top of the airbag, your hands will hit your face at 250 miles an hour, which that wouldn't obviously be a good day, would it?
Mm.
So the airbag is designed that when your head hits it, it will probably be already 25% deflated.
Yeah.
That's the way they're designed. It's not like you see on the Hollywood movies where it's all a big fluffy cushion that comes out and they're trying to push the air out of it, but it holds them back in the seat. It's not like that at all. There's a hole in the middle of the airbag.
Yeah.
And when it deploys, it goes bang, and then by the time your head hits it, the air has sort of come out of it 25%, and then you're just cushioned for a split second whilst it then deflates completely.
Right.
Okay? But if your wrists or your hands, your palms, whatever, are blocking the hole, then there's no deflation in that bag at all, practically, and it's going to be like me hitting you in the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's a very good reason to keep your hands on the outside rather than the inside.
Yeah.
Okay?